Hello and welcome to another episode of Aiden Tries to Get Sued. Today we're talking about water, which is ironic because that sounds fucking dry. This is the best joke I've ever made and it's the best joke you'll ever get on this channel. Have you ever heard of Enagic Kangen Water? If you haven't, I'm sorry for what I'm about to tell you. If you have, I'm sorry for what you've been told. Enagic, according to their website, provides in-home alkaline water ionization technologies. To put it very simply, they sell fancy water dispensers. But what's interesting is that on their website, part of their philosophy is realizing true financial health, and that would be a normal thing to say if they weren't selling water dispensers. Let's get started. Do you feel like you're missing something in life? Maybe it's your health or finance or freedom. Let me introduce you to Kangen Water, which uses pseudoscience like alkaline water to improve your lives. By buying into our Kangen machines, we are guaranteeing you a future with access to the best health, financial stability, and the independence to do whatever the fuck you want. After you invest in Kangen machines and drink Kangen water, all those things will be given to you because what we're promising is the ability to fix all your problems with one simple solution through scrappy individualism. Forget experts or community or working together with different people. You can fix your life. You alone can be correct because like water, you are pure. For clarity and legal purposes, Enagic is the company we're talking about. Kangen is the line of water ionization dispensers, and Kangen Water is what they call the water that comes out of their machine. Anything that is related with the water gets branded with Kangen, but that Kangen is talking about the water, not the machine. Like their Kangen Wagyu or Kangen Ukon are products fed with Kangen Water. In this video, when I say Enagic, I am talking about the company. Whenever I am talking about Kangen, I am talking about the brand. For the products and byproducts, they will be noted as such. Kangen Water, Kangen Machine, Kangen Wagyu, etc. Enagic claims their Kangen machines are water ionizers that can raise and lower the pH levels of water to create acidic or alkaline water. This pH adjusted water is what they call Kangen Water. Now, water ionization is an actual chemical process where two H2O molecules become one H3O and one OH minus molecule. This is not what Kangen machines do. The actual process of Kangen machines is closer to electrolysis. That's the process of running electricity through water, taking two sets of H2O molecules, splitting the H and O's apart to create two sets of H2 molecules and one set of O2 molecules. You might even have done this experiment yourself in school, where you take a battery, drop it in salty water, and watch bubbles come out. Now, if you're handsome, beautiful, smart, a chemist, or just a child that took first year chemistry, you'll realize that that is not water. That's air, because that's what this process is normally used for, to produce hydrogen, and if you're on the International Space Station or something, oxygen. The alkaline water phenomenon comes from the fact that water at the negative end becomes what science nerds know as basic, also known as alkaline, and water at the positive end becomes acidic. Acidic water has a pH value below 7 and basic water is higher than 7. At a pH value of 8.5 is what Enagic calls Kangen Water, and they claim that their Kangen machine can create water between pH values of 2.5 and 9.5. What, you think that's not possible? Because it will require breaking the laws of physics? When has fundamental rules of the universe ever stopped these people before? I hope you appreciate this joke, because the problem with being a small channel is that you're not famous enough to get smart people to help you. I can't just ask Dr. Mike or whatever, so I had to relearn chemistry at the tender age of 34. Patreon.com/Aiden_Ng. Electrolyzing water takes either a long amount of time, a large amount of power, or both, neither of which are particularly easy to come by in a home machine that has constant running water. The pH scale used to test for acidity and alkalinity is also logarithmic, meaning that each level of a water's pH is 10 times different than the last, meaning the alkalinity of Kangen water is 100 to 1000 times more than normal water. I know the pH scale for water is acid and base, but Enagic doesn't use that and it's just gonna be confusing, so I'll continue using alkalinity. Enagic claims they can do this by using multiple titanium plates to increase the surface of electrolysis. Electrolysis of pure tap water, especially one that has been filtered like those by the Kangen machine, is not really feasibly possible. You need a certain amount of minerals in the water for the process to even take place. The surface of the machine isn't the problem, the medium is. Because the process of electrolysis isn't to make drinking water, it's to make hydrogen and oxygen. It'll be like using a plush toy for kindling. You can try, but it's super expensive, difficult, inefficient, and likely not going to work, because plush toys don't burn as well as humans. I know this for a fact from personal experience. Also, without a semi-permeable membrane separating the positive and negative ends, the water will just mix around until they come together again, becoming neutral in pH. Again, electrolysis is an actual thing, and you can change the pH value of water, but to do so in any meaningful way, you need a machine that looks more like this. And you need different mediums than pure H2O. You'd use something like potassium hydroxide. The way Kangen machines produces their higher alkaline water is by using an electrolysis enhancer, aka a mix of sodium chloride and sodium hypochlorite, aka salt and bleach. Wait, yeah, if you mix those in, of course your water will be alkaline. That's just how it fucking works. It's like saying if I mix tea leaves in my water will become brown. Oh my god, I'm a fucking wizard. Also, like, there's just one other problem. I'm heading to my friend's place right now because he has a Kangen machine and I want to do some tests. Basic chemistry stuff, you know. I have a hypothesis of how the machine works, so I'm gonna make sure that I'm correct. Science. My hypothesis is that the machine won't work. The electrolysis just cannot physically happen. The water will neither produce the alkaline nor acidic outcome that's been claimed. The higher level of alkalinity, however, might be possible if the electrolysis enhancer truly contains bleach as it is claimed. So after setting up 2 controls of tap water and normal bleach water, I got to testing all the settings of the Kangen machine, including the waste acidic water, and I made sure there was still electrolysis enhancer left, which I also tested. Everything, including the electrolysis enhancer, turned up with the same pH levels, meaning there isn't even any bleach in the enhancer, which of course not. Don't drink bleach, people. I'm smelling the electrolysis enhancer. It smells like chlorine. Am I gonna drink this? Okay, so I've tested all of the water. All the pH strip actually looks around 7 to 8, which is around Singapore tap water standard. And the electrolysis enhancer is just salt water. I did drink a bit of it, the things I do for YouTube. Final thoughts. I don't think the water is dangerous, but it's definitely not doing what it says. It's just plain water. And the strong Kangen water is just water with a little bit of salt. And how long did you say your mom has this machine? About a year. So the machine has been used in this household for a year, off and on and off, and they almost finished that entire electrolysis enhancer in slightly over a year. So that's 500 ml, give or take, over the course of a whole year. It is probably more. So it's about like 1 ml, 1.5 ml a day. That's not a very dangerous amount to consume, but that's also an insignificant amount for a machine to do any sort of electrolysis. This machine doesn't work. You're just drinking very slightly salty water. I wouldn't even say it's very salty. I would say like I can get a cup of water and put like 1 ml of salt water in it and I'll get the same taste. So back to you, Aiden, in front of the black thing.
Smashing report.
I would tell you if you're that desperate to drink alkaline water, just mix baking soda in a cup of water, but why would I? Because all the health benefits that is claimed from drinking alkaline water isn't even shown to work, In fact, stuff like drinking alkaline water can balance your body's pH level is straight up fiction, because if it's any level of true, we'd all be dead the moment we drink a cup of orange juice. Your body is naturally at a pH level of around 7.4. Even if you drown yourself in alkaline water, your body will just readjust. And if you find some magic that lets you increase your body's pH level because you truly believe the health benefits these scammers are selling you, the result will be even worse. Because the pH scale is logarithmic, increasing or decreasing your blood pH just by 0.1 can kill you. If you believe your body is too acidic and you need to drink water with a pH of 8.5 to balance things out, drop your cup and go to the hospital because you're about to die from metabolic acidosis. Your stomach has an acidic pH of around 2. Drinking plain water will only raise its pH level to about 6 for about 3 minutes before it completely returns to normal. So are you going to drink a glass of water every 3 minutes for the rest of your life? Our body is a miraculous piece of biological machine that can self-regulate like nothing else can. It is also very stupid and fragile, with the slightest deviation irreversibly breaking everything. That's why we have doctors who have spent all of human history studying it, and these other dumb fucks really shouldn't be allowed anywhere near it. In fact, if any of these people get into positions of power, you should treat them as hazardous to your life, and seriously considering starting some sort of revolution, maybe burn some cars and tear down your society and rebuild from the ashes, because any system that lets them have any power over you is flawed and dangerous. Barring that, find a way to chase them out of power, that's fine too. A quick aside, I stumbled onto these liquid pH testers on Enagic's websites, and I found it weird that they would use liquid tests, given that I've already tested their waters to have no changes. Asking around r/chemistry, the general consensus is that liquid pH tests, while real, are highly inaccurate, and rarely used in lab tests, and are mostly used as demonstrations in schools. It is possible to modify it to detect slight levels of pH changes, and show that it has high levels of changes instead, given pH scale's logarithmic nature. Most water are already slightly alkaline, so it won't be hard to make the test seem higher than it is. The fact that the solutions are made by Enagic themselves means they aren't third party, and it's hard to know if they are accurate. I would love to test these bottles myself, but to do so would require laboratory standard equipment and solutions with pH values I know the exact values of, which I do not have access to. So while I cannot say that they aren't real tests, I cannot say they are real either. And I would say that if anyone wants to test the pH values of Kangen Water themselves, to use third-party equipment instead. After doing all those tests on the Kangen machine, however, my friend asked me how does Enagic get away with this, and I didn't really know, so I looked into it. Some of their methodology I've already covered before, used by other scams. Like a lot of these scams, they like to tout their legitimacy with certification and stuff. However, it's all just a smokescreen to confuse their targets. These ISO certifications on their website, while real, are for businesses and production management. They don't have to actually show that their product worked to get them, just that they are made in good condition. You're getting snake oil, but it's ethically sourced snake oil. Same with this certificate from, I'm sorry for my one German viewer for my pronunciation, TÜV Rheinland. The Direct Selling Association, or DSA, is basically a lobbying arm rebrand for MLMs, similar to the ICFs for life coaches. And these are just patents, copyright and trademark applications that does not need the technology to work to be filed. The Better Business Bureau page is also flooded with fake reviews, and their last certificate is just to show they are radiation free, which, fuck it, I'm radioactive free. Yes, I'm as prestigious as Enagic, but there's also the problem of certifications, regulations, and laws. They are not the same. Certificates like the ones Enagic uses are basically participation trophies. They are only useful if you, the consumer, know what they are about. The ISO certificates are, to my personal sense, badly designed, because you, the consumer, don't actually know what each individual certification is about. But it gives you this veneer of trust. You just go, oh, it's ISO certified. I guess that's good. Good certificates are for simple overall stuff, like IP codes for water and dust resistant, which are cumulative up to a point for general usage. Bigger number, up to 6, is better basically. Simple. Finally, there are laws, and That's where the biggest issue is. In my socialist commie circle of Antifa radicals, we like to say laws protect property, not people, and that's what the Direct Selling Association of Singapore, the DSAS, that Enagic is proudly part of, shows. They tout Singapore's MT-MLM laws to note how not an MLM they are. However, their founder, Benjamin Tan, an unelected member of a lobbying association for direct selling that, for legal purposes, is a historical neighbor to MLMs, helped write the very amendment of laws that helped define the MLM industry. There's a certain roundness to that. The amendment carved out an exclusion that basically allows MLMs, as how we the public know it, to function, to exist in Singapore legally. For example, the law exempts any company so long as the promoter gets income based on sales and distribution and not recruitment, which is very easy to circumvent for an MLM. If the income comes from the sales of your recruits, basically that way your income technically comes from sales and not recruitment. It's like how I always say, for legal purposes. It's a kind of legal magic. Just do a little dance and everything's fine under the law. Because the point of scams isn't how it's done, it's the why. The method isn't the point as long as it's in service to the dream. When people talk about scams, they think of Nigerian princes, miracle medicines, the promises of gods, but that's not what scams are. Enagic is selling water. Plain fucking water. It covers 71% of the surface of Earth, 60% of the human body, and every living thing on this planet has lived off it for over 4 billion years. It is made up of two of the most common elements in the universe. It is the most basic of basic things we have. If every oxygen atom in the universe is made into water, there would be more water atoms than carbon. We are made of carbon. And these people still found a way to turn water into a scam. Because scammers don't require facts for you to fall for it. If we're not talking about a miracle cure, then it's magic money trees or the fiction of cult superiority. They don't sell products, they sell dreams. They sell fiction. It's the realizing true financial health part of their marketing. The science might be real under certain circumstances, but it's the promise of what it can do for you that's fake. That's the scam. And you might be wondering, Fat Man, why do you talk about scammers so much? Aren't there more important things in the world to deal with? The thing is, the thought process that gets people to fall for scams like these are the exact same ones that leads into even more dangerous pitfalls. And to stop falling into these pits, it's not enough to just debunk things. You need to understand the process of thinking. Having skepticism for grand claims and having trust in the scientific method and the information of experts is key. Replace alkaline water with pretty much any scam and it'll work. Cults, social media, t-shirts, Viagra, Nigerian princes. You won't even have to change the sale pitch. Do you feel like you're missing something in life? Maybe it's your health or finance or freedom. Let me introduce you to racial supremacy, which uses pseudoscience like eugenics to improve your lives. By buying into our fascist policies, we are guaranteeing you a future with access to the best health, financial stability, and the independence to do whatever the fuck you want after you invest in racial supremacy and drink our Kool-Aid. All those things will be given to you because what we're promising is the ability to fix all your problems with one simple solution through scrappy individualism. Forget experts or community or working together with different people. You can fix your life. You alone can be correct because, like water, you are pure. Hello everyone, thanks for watching. Special shout out to all my Patreons and special shout out to my VIP Patreon BBQ. You might have noticed that this video came out a little later than my usual schedule. It's because I'm kind of changing up my schedules a little bit. I want to take more time with each video to produce like better stuff. Well, not exactly better, you've seen the quality on this channel, but more like well researched. It's something I noticed when I was doing the Alt MPS video that I kind of burned myself out into the research process. I almost always get sick when I do deep dives. And also YouTube's algorithm is kind of killing the momentum for my channel. The new algorithm kind of prefers slop content on this platform, and it's making it hard for original stuff like mine to exist here. So I'd rather spend more time doing deeper, better research stuff than having to fill in the gaps. I'm still gonna do like shallow dives every now and then, but it will have to be something that I really want to talk about. But in exchange, I'll probably have more deeper dive videos where I can do more stuff. Most of my knowledge today about the chemistry and the electrolysis process comes from a guy named Stephen Lauer, who is a retired chemist who wrote extensively about alkaline water scams and water ionization, hard water, all these things, all the way back from as early as 1990s. So this sort of grift has been around for a very long time. Anyway, that's it for today. Thanks for watching. I will probably start doing more live stream in between the videos. I'll figure out some sort of schedule, I think. I've decided to use my live stream to do talks on storytelling, literature analysis, game design. So if you ever drop by and just want to hear me go off about really complicated artsy-fartsy stuff, come join me. I'll still play games, but you know, I'll talk about those stuff while I'm doing it. Anyway, thanks for watching. I will see you next time. Bye.